Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you to our panel here for your attention today. My fear as I look at the legislation and read some of the talking points is that we're looking at some of the worst examples that private equity has to offer, Toys R Us being one example. I don't think anybody involved in that deal would do it again if they had the opportunity. And we're taking a hatchet to an entire industry that supports millions of jobs as an important source of returns for many of our pensioners. Mr. Palmer, I'll start with you. I'm going to read a list of companies. Smile Direct Club, Slack, Beyond Meat, Uber, and Lyft. They've all gone public this year. What else do they have in common?
They're all backed by your private equity funds, I think.
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, from start to finish, turns out. Mr. Palmer, who ultimately is invested in these funds? Like, who are the returns ultimately going to?
They're ultimately going to university endowments, pension funds, family offices, and individuals.
Teachers, firefighters,
absolutely,
police officers. Wonderful. And Mr. Moore, just because I think it's such a strong example, what is the highest returning asset class net of fees?
Let's see, I think this is a 7th time I had to
Just
say
again,
that.
I'd just like to hear it.
Okay. It's private equity.
Okay, wonderful. So to destroy the industry in its entirety would rob many of our pensioners of important returns. Not the intent, but it would certainly happen. So Mr. Palmer, I guess in your opinion, to follow up on that, would the Warren bill that we're talking about, would that result in more money in private equity funds or less, in your opinion?
Less, and particularly for smaller businesses, which are otherwise seen as risky.
So I want to talk about one specifically, which happens to be in my district, Hyland Software. Have you heard of Hyland?
I think I have, actually.
You have. They're an awesome business. They're owned by Thoma Bravo. Are you familiar with Thoma Bravo?
Yeah, they're the big
Okay, so Thoma Bravo has owned the business for close to a decade, or maybe a little more than a decade. They provided liquidity to a founding family, have supported the growth of thousands of jobs. Thoma Bravo has been a great partner to Hyland. When I talked to both folks at Thoma Bravo and folks at Hyland, just an incredible story for our region. Northeast Ohio is a community where I'm from, where we need more private capital, frankly. We need as much private capital into our community as we can get. We need more businesses like a Hyland Software to grow in fast-growing, exciting industries and create jobs and opportunity for our community. And again, based on what you just said, I think the fear that I have, and I think everybody should have, when we look at this Warren bill, which I think would be a disaster for jobs and certainly for my community, is the effect that it would have in the real economy. I know research papers are nice and wonderful, but these have real implications for people on the street. And I am happy to see that the bill is not supported widely by my colleagues on the other side of the aisle. And I hope it dies here and in this committee. And with that, I yield back.